got the knowledge in store. Oh yeah, Alan Ng, watch him talk up a flare. Movie and TV show reviews that you need. Film threats on fire, we're planting the seeds. Film threat, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the deal. Turn the phone, it's the place to be. Movie lovers gather round. 1, 2, 3. From blockbusters to indie gold. Oh yeah, Chris and Alan break the mold. Pop your corn, turn down the lights. Get ready to groove through movie nights. Film threat, we keep it real. Dive into the stories, you know the
Let's
deal.
go. Let's go. Folks, it's Monday. It's D-Day. It's our review of Snow White. But that's not all. We've got the Fetus Director Joe Lam joining us. Lots of news stories, including an exclusive news story about the Daily Wire's Snow White project with Brett Cooper. We got some info. Someone sent us some info and lots of other stuff to share with you. Alan Ng is waiting in the wings. He'll be here any second. All I have to do is start the show. It's crazy. I just have to do it. Here we go. Let's go. Let's get Alan here.
Alan, I've been looking for you myself. Alan.
Oh boy.
Hey, man.
Hey,
Man, we were just hanging out last night.
I know. Yeah,
And-
to see a wonderful film that we'll talk about later today.
Well, I was on Piers Morgan for about 3 minutes and gave my review. I weighed in. I'm happy to be included. Hope I'm back. But that was a lot of fun. Drinker was there, Neurotic. So look.
Did they say when it's gonna show?
I think tomorrow
Okay.
it'll run. So, I got my 2 cents. I gave the highlights of my review. So look for that. It was.
Let me guess. It was a big panel, and everyone was talking.
It was a big panel. I popped in, gave my comment, and popped back out. So, but a lot to discuss. First of all, a reminder that we are a sponsor of the Credo 23 Film Festival, March 28th to 30th. Get more info and tickets at credo23filmfest.com. It's the same weekend as WonderCon, and Alan and I will be both at WonderCon and this festival. So,
And then where will be the day after the festival's over?
we're going to CinemaCon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, busyness. Also, I'll get to your comments in a second. I really want you to support us and buy something at shop.filmthreat.com. I am modeling one of our new shirts today. Here it is. Wait, what am I doing here?
What is
Modeling what?
What?
That's
What?
not what I wanted to share. All right, I'll go full screen. I'm
Look.
modeling one of our new shirts. It's based on the Cinerama Dome logo. It says Film Threat established 1985, which is when Film Threat, with the first issue of Film Threat came out in February 6th, 1985. Let me share the correct screen. I'm
Yeah, let me
frazzled
remind
today.
you that you should watch porn on a different computer.
No,
and
that's
not
about it. No, it's not. That's not. Go to shop.filmthreat.com, our new superhero style line for spring. We got the Film Threat. I just got my Film Threat Fantastic Four inspired shirt. 2 models, classic Fantastic Four, and that new logo. There you go. It says Film Threat along with Superman. Hey, we're talking Superman today. I think we'll talk Superman
a little bit.
So I got this in blue. True Royal. You pick the style, the color, the size, whatever you like. So there you go. Grab one of our superhero themed shirts. So I like this. This is my favorite, actually. The Batman themed one. Look at that.
I think
That's great. Yeah, and there's X-Ray Girl modeling the shirt. We got her to model the shirt. So there you go. All right, let's go to your comments real quick and we'll get started.
All right. Kenneth Ye just became a YouTube member.
Along with John Mahoney.
Explosive Diarrhea says, I think this would will be better the people think than the people think. Maybe the bar is too low and people will be in for a surprise.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. C Sign 69. Welcome one and all to the best movie review channel in the interwebs, where Disney princesses are apparently girl bosses and independent movies reign supreme.
Hell yeah.
By the way, I think Richard Roper just retired.
Really?
Well, he left his the Sun Times, so I don't know.
Well, Richard Roper, who I've met, is welcome on this show anytime.
Pilgrim Media for 2. I watch your doc again. Good times. Good times.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, Pilgrim.
Yeah, we talked a lot about your doc last night.
Oh, that's great.
Planet X. Oh, great. 2 grown-ass men talking about Disney fairy tale princesses. Cool. That's right.
Hey,
what we do.
I am not just a grown-ass man, which I am. I'm a father to a daughter and a son, and I watched Disney movies as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I passed along my love of Disney to them when they were kids and rewatched classics, and they grew up in the 90s. So my kids and I would go to, we saw Lion King, Aladdin, like all of those. Those are now modern classics. What's happening now with Disney is sad. Disney used to be a brand, I think, where adults and kids could enjoy Disney films. I don't know that that's the case with current Disney. But thank you, Planet X. All opinions are welcome here. Just be nice. It's all good to be. I mean, mostly nice. I don't know. It can be. I don't care. I just think let's talk stuff. I like to disagree. I think it's fun. I like different opinions. So
I'll just say that good storytelling reaches a broad audience.
Right.
Yeah. Pharaoh of Vibes for $4.99. Long live Film Threat, where reviews and stories are given a fair shake, unlike other channels, not to be named, that go camping.
Well, I think you're talking about that comment from Lou Zazzle. And Lou Zazzle made some comment on another channel. I talked about it. Let's try to keep it. We'll try to keep it clean here. Try. So, and last but not least, Lord Thoth, and we thank Lord Thoth. Read it.
What are you doing? Okay.
Yeah.
Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, sign up as a member, join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch at shop.filmthreat.com.
And get one of these amazing. Look, there's two.
Oh, that's the one I want.
Shirts.
That's the one I have.
I have it. That's one. I have many favorite shirts. So there you go. But yes, support us by buying the merch. Lord Thoth, we appreciate you. Oh, wait, 2 last soups.
Wow.
And then we're getting to a treat that is an exclusive. No other channel has this. An exclusive for you. And 2 exclusives today. So let's go.
From Joel Effler for $4.99. Do you think this still the same film as when Zegler made her stalker and weird comments?
No, it was heavily edited, changed. I'll tell you what I think the changes were. But when we get to the review.
Yeah. Hosa Taco for $1.99. How was Pierce today? I bet you did good. How was Piers today?
Yeah, Piers was great. My first time on the show. Gary from Nerdrotic recommended me. I appreciate him for that so much. Drinker was on. They brought me on briefly to give my review. I was on 2-3 minutes, and I was able to speak my mind in and out. I hope I did well, and I think I'll be back. I had no major screw ups.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Were you on with Ernest?
I was on with Ernest. How do you know?
Well, he's always on with Gary and Drinker.
Well,
and that Esther woman. That Esther.
Yes, it was a really good group. I was really impressed, and hope I'm on again. Like, it was, they were great. They were all great. So, yeah, it was. I kind of feel like I've never been on. So what they probably wanted to do is like try me out, and I think I did well. We'll see if I'll be back. Good. All right, a special treat. We're going to do news for about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll get to the review. And also, we've got some reviews of other movies today, too. So, well, let's talk about this. Karen Unleashed. We are about to do a trailer reaction. Alan has not seen this.
Nope.
I'm not going to tell you much about it. You're going to notice it's kind of weird. It'll become obvious in the middle, and then we'll talk about it on the back end. And prepare to be shocked. That's all I'm going to say. Prepare to be shocked. And let me, this is an independent movie. Obviously, this is the trailer for it. And Alan, let's watch this trailer. You ready? Here we go.
No.
3 minutes. Don't say anything.
Oh no.
Don't say anything.
All right.
Trust me.
Just responding to this frame right here. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Hi, you've reached Karen. Please leave a message after the tone.
Karen, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Shut up, Mom.
For Christ's sakes, it's out of the question.
You fucking moron!
Didn't you wear that yesterday?
Hey, you sexy lady, come here.
Hi, this didn't fit me. I would like to return it.
I'm sorry, ma'am. We don't accept returns.
Let me talk to your manager.
The manager isn't here right now. He can't talk to you.
People have been stepping on me for too long.
I mean it, goddammit. We deserve refunds.
I'll track him down if it's the last thing I do.
What did I say about giving refunds?
Say hi to Reddit, motherfuckers.
Let me know if you want to start a loyalty card.
Sir, we have a problem.
Looks like motherfuckers saw half price. We have an unsatisfied customer.
俺がやる.
I've been reading a lot about my rights as a citizen lately.
Ma'am, you know anything about an incident with a roller skater?
This is fucking harassment, and I will sue you.
Unbelievable. Let me just say this. If you didn't figure that out, that was entirely made with AI.
Oh, you're kidding.
That was one. I'm going to go in the thread. The guy's going to talk. It took him 1 month to make. He gives the cost, and we'll go through it right now. Hollywood is fucked. Hollywood is fucked. And let me just say why. We've dabbled and kind of shared some of the clever, those Panavision 1950s, trailers for classic movies. They look like a great look. They're like a tech demo.
Mm-hmm.
This is a full-on movie created with AI. I'm going to go through the cred.
Hold on. The entire movie. That it's not just the trailer.
This is from, the entire trailer, 100%. It's from the Twitter handle AI or Die Show. let's go through this. He says this took 8 weeks from conception to completion. Clips were via VEO2. Lip sync were done by 2 people also on Twitter, and the dialogue 11 Lab SIO. So it was, the dialogue was also AI, but it took him 8 weeks. This is insane, but it was all done with VEO2. That is the app. I'm trying to find, he goes through, but it took 8 weeks to make it. So it's not a simple thing, you know, obviously putting in prompts and whatnot. Yeah. Alan, what are your thoughts? I know that, like, look, I don't think there's any way to stop AI. It's about the way you use it. I agree with Justine Bateman that the data sets used for AI need to be that needs to be like with music that we use on YouTube, right? Fair use or not, right? That needs to be handled. But but look, I'm not promoting it. I'm saying it's coming, whether you like it or not. This could be a tool that would even the playing field between indie filmmakers, like whoever the George Lucas of tomorrow is. It's a new tool, but look, Hollywood is going to use this to lay people off. I am making you aware. You need to know about this. It's the dam has been broken. Okay, Alan, your thoughts, and we'll go to comments.
Okay, just for clarity, the trailer. This is not a full-on movie.
It's not a movie.
Okay,
it is a trailer for a movie. It's basically Karen meets John Wick.
Right.
It's ridiculous, to be fair, but all made with AI. Your comments. We're going.
So Hollywood is screwed. I mean, the thing that stuck out to me is the consistency in the character, in the main character. Because I could have swore it was the same person the whole time through, which I've not seen in an AI movie or an AI trailer like this.
The data set of the woman might be based on a real person. So, but this is what's possible. Look, AI is coming, whether you like it or not. I think there is an ethical way to utilize this tool, just the way that pets and animals are used in movies. And there's no harm came to the animals. I think that it'll be used for special effects in films, and it'll be the secret weapon for indie filmmakers. It's coming. You can't that proved to me all this other stuff that's AI. It's cute. It's whatever. It's laughable. We joke about it. This is no joke. This is the first thing that I've seen that's convinced me. Wow, this is possible to make a movie that looked like it cost $100 million from an indie filmmaker, and it will cost almost nothing. Let's go to your comments.
Let me make one final comment. This is going to create a civil war in independent film. Because we're going to Credo 23, and we know what Justine thinks about all this. It's going to be this battle between independent filmmakers who make movies the traditional way versus independent filmmakers who heavily use AI.
Look, the dam broke. It's here. The dam broke. It's here. And 1 year from now, it'll be even better. So what I'm saying is, you always listen. You always have a choice. You can get your corporate media, a studio movie, your corporate beer, Budweiser, or you can get indie films or handcrafted small label local beers or alcohol, which is what I like to do. But
but
the choice is it's gonna change everything. You cannot stop it.
I understand that, but is the consumer, the paying consumer for independent film, are they gonna all of a sudden say, I don't want to watch independent film anymore because it's all AI? That's the fear that I feel like is going.
Look, will it be overused and misused? Yes. Can it be used ethically to make competitive indie films that can beat Hollywood? I think so. I think there's a way to do it. It deserves discussion. That's why I'm looking forward to panel discussions at Credo 23. Let's go to comments.
All right, Nerd Far Away.
Alan, by the way, we have a big show with lots of
I
things.
understand that, but you
Please
just
let me move the show
you
along.
just presented me with an AI trailer that is incredible.
Let's go.
And that brings up a lot of questions that I want to ask. So here we go. Bush and Rio Cat for 2. If AI can make good 5-minute Star Wars movies, I'm in. Knee Pain, member for 8 months. Looking forward to Film Threat's first review of an AI movie. We actually did.
That already happened. What's the name of the movie?
Oh, I forget. It's like...
First of all, the movie is effing terrible, Knee Pain.
Yeah.
Alan reviewed a feature movie made entirely AI actors, AI, everything is AI, the entire thing. And the movie is god awful. But Alan reviewed it almost a year ago.
Yeah. Over a year ago.
Yeah.
Let's see. So yeah, Knee Pain. Moving on. You want me to... Okay, here we go. Hosa Taco for $1.99. Someone made a complete Lord of the Rings movie with Muppets.
I would like to see it.
Rudy for $5. AI is basically doing the art industry what automation did to factory workers back in the day. It's inevitable.
Unfortunately, yes, but true.
Suns and Shadows gifted 5 Film Threat memberships.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Nerd Far Away says this looks like Falling Down with Karen. Sorry, but no. And Khalid says Microaggressions, the movie. And Aurora uplinks, I want to see this. Well, you just did. And C. Stein 69, Jane Wick meets Falling Down. And Laura Buckles, I am both impressed and terrified. And then SMJ 32, stop promoting AI, Chris. It's anti-art.
Am I supposed to ignore it? Here's an iceberg. The SS Hollywood Titanic is heading to the iceberg. You need to pay attention. Otherwise, look, I just saw a friend last night, used to work with a G4, and he's telling me how many people, the entire industry is contracting. Jobs are not coming back. Survived till 25. It didn't work out. So the iceberg is coming. I'm making you aware. And there you are. We will discuss this obviously more. Next story, Alan, if you bring it up.
Yes.
Early Superman reactions. So James Gunn's Superman is coming. We're very excited. And there is an early reaction to Superman. This is from Jeff Snyder, the In Snyder. I know Jeff. I know him to be credible. I've reached out to him. We've DM'd over X and had conversations. He is one of the guys that's outside traditional media who often gets good stories. Alan, if you would read this tweet from him, or I can see it here. I'll do it. Okay. Jeff Snyder says that he spoke to someone who watched a Superman screening. David Cornsweet was great as Superman. There were jokey moments, but they were well balanced with drama and was genuinely funny, and the movie knew when to get serious. The movie was 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's it. There you go. I think that's all positive. I don't like 2 hour and 20-minute movies. I don't think it's organic. Make it 3 hours or 2 hours, and you'd have a better movie. Tighten that movie. It tells me if your movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes, it tells me you don't know where to cut and you have a second, third act. I don't like second, third act. So make of that what you will. But Alan, your reaction, and then we'll go to comments.
Yeah, so this person saw a early screening, meaning they're still working on it. Cautious optimism. That's what I have.
Yeah.
I have no way to confirm or deny any of these comments, but yeah, like I said, Superman needs to hit a home run. If Warner Brothers is going to say the DCEU.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, my problem with Gunn taking on Superman. Everything we've seen, it looks like he's trying to shoehorn too much.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate his ambition. He's making this movie like it's the last movie he's gonna make.
It could be.
He's putting everything into it, but the last 4 James Gunn movies have been similar in nature. A ragtag team.
Mm-hmm.
They're very different personalities. They rallied together to defeat an antagonist. And they all tend to be ensemble pieces. I don't see Superman as being an ensemble. I see it being one person's story. Superman, Clark Kent, Kal-El, and that's what I want to see.
Yep.
That's encouraging, but again, I'm like you, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
Let's anything else, Alan? We'll go to
comments. Someone said recently that a movie we saw was good, not great, and would do well. And that's the value you give early comments.
Here we go. Comments.
All right. Movie should be 90 minutes. Epics are 3 hours.
Well, I would add Tony G. I agree with you. I would say comedies and horror films 90.
Yeah.
Dramas 2 hours. Epics 3 hours. Just my thing. But thank you, Tony.
Toxic Waltz N8. I don't trust any of these early screening reviews. Exactly.
Yeah, there's also not much info.
Yeah. AATL Midorian. There are 2 kinds of long movies. My characters and plots are so intricate that you need time, or no precious frame that I shot will touch the cutting room floor. Super Omicron. Superman 1978 was 2 hours, 23 minutes long.
I'm not sure if that's true.
I think
my recollection of the very first, there are many versions, unfortunately, of the original Superman. My recollection, the first version released to theaters was 2 hours and change.
Okay, let me.
And there are different versions. There's a TV version that's nearly 3 hours. There's a Donner cut where they remix sound and added stuff. So I'd have to research that. But thank you, Super Omnicron. Worth noting.
Okay.
Here from. Go ahead, Alan.
Okay. The Pilgrim Media for 2. I am off base saying Disney is. Am I off base saying Disney is lazy?
100. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the original theatrical is 2 hours, 23 minutes, as noted. The 2000 expanded edition was 151 minutes, and the extended cut was 188 minutes.
And the Salkind International edit was 188 minutes. So there you go. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, we have an exclusive story. Brett Cooper, let me just say this. I am a fan of Brett Cooper. I used to watch her show, The Comment Section. Let me share. I have a visual here, Alan. No, it's all good, man.
I threw it up there. Never mind.
No, it's all good.
Show that. Okay.
I'm a fan of Brett Cooper. I watched The Comment Section. She was unceremoniously let go by the Daily Wire. I don't know why. Seems very strange. And her producer, that was also her friend, that was at her wedding. I don't know any of this because I'm not really on Instagram. I don't follow the gossip, but I love that show. It was very fun to watch. And I thought Brett Cooper was very honest. I've heard her on other shows speak about herself, her life, her values, her journey in Hollywood, how she learned a lot of lessons. She knew Leslie Headland. She was in a TV show Leslie produced, had comments about that. Much respect I have for Brett Cooper. I don't know about what happened between her and the Daily Wire. What I do know is that Brett Cooper was in a teaser trailer for a Snow White movie made by the Daily Wire. And of course, Disney does not own the fairy tale Snow White. Daily Wire can do what they want. Now, there are people saying now that, oh, that was just a troll, that Daily Wire never meant to make a Snow White movie starring Brett Cooper. We've had some people reach out to us. That is not entirely true. Now, I can't reveal the source or what the full contents of the email, but Alan, you have a synopsis, kind of things we are able to say. What did we learn from this source about this Snow White movie from the Daily Wire?
Okay, so just a little bit more context. When Disney announced that Snow White, their version, was going to be put off another year, Daily Wire stepped in with the teaser trailer for Brett Cooper as Snow White. And as you mentioned on Monday, we talked about that this may have been a troll, but our sources say that no, this was an actual project. The trailer was shot in Tennessee, not too far outside of Nashville, but the plan was to shoot the film in Europe. Jeremy Boring was the executive producer behind it. He was working on the Pendragon Chronicles, and after he was done with that, he was going to move on to Snow White. The thinking behind the Daily Wire here was beating Disney to the punch. Daily Wire's intent was, if Disney's going to put off Snow White for a year, we're going to put out our own Snow White movie before it, which is a story amongst itself. It was going to go on their Bent Key streaming service. The problem is that the announcement of Bent Key last year, there was a bit of excitement. They claimed 1 million subscribers. Well, that 1 million subscribers never showed up, and Bent Key folded. I think there's very little on it, if it even exists. I don't know. I don't subscribe to Daily Wire. So here's the juicy news. This is what our source says. Somewhere along the line, Disney reached out to Jeremy Boring, or maybe the other way around, about some kind of payoff to shut down any prospect of an alternative Snow White. That is the feeling. So the point here is that there may have been some money exchange. Disney and Daily Wire may have come to an agreement where money was exchanged to stop the project. And as a result of that, Boring started to walk back Snow White slowly, to stop talking about it. And what happened is now Brett Cooper is not making the Snow White movie.
Well,
and they became very hush-hush about it. And
from what I've read, that Brett Cooper was promised she wanted to further her acting career.
Yeah.
That was a goal of hers, to be an actress. The idea of being in a Snow White, an earnest Snow White retelling by Daily Wire, was something that she was excited about. And apparently Jeremy Boring made promises to Brett that were not kept. And he put so much effort into Pendragon cycle that the Snow White movie was sidelined, which upset Brett Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they parted ways in very mysterious circumstances. It seems that everyone that has some falling out, and by the way, I've got nothing against Daily Wire. I like some of their content. I really liked Am I Racist? Mm-hmm. Which we reviewed on this channel.
What is a Woman?
What is a Woman? I think they've, on documentaries, I like they're producing alternative content. But it's sad to me that they seem to be alienating some of their best talent. So
yeah, the phrase used here was Brett Cooper wanted to be more than just internet famous. She wanted to be a movie star, and Snow White was the vehicle in which she could do it. And I think her leaving had a lot to do with contract negotiations, especially surrounding that, because knowing that she wasn't going to be in a movie, knowing that she had built the comment section herself. And that if you know the Daily Wire contracts, you know that the Daily Wire takes a lot of your revenue. And I think it was about time for her to say, look, if you can't help my future career, then I got to take my career in my own hands. And she left.
Well, and so look, I don't like internet drama. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I love movies. and things related to movies. I ignore internet drama, so I don't care about any of this, but I like Brett Cooper. I like some of what Daily Wire is doing. Don't care about the behind the scenes, but it really saddens me when parties I both kind of like get in some kerfuffle, but it sounds like she may have been mistreated. You more I'm sure will come out. Let's go to your comments now.
Okay, from Judd Goswick. I thought Brett said the trailer was shot in Hungary while she was filming there. I think the intention was to shoot in Hungary.
The plan was to shoot the movie in Hungary.
Yeah.
So might get wires crossed on that. Sorry about that.
Brandon Lee Janicki. The only company more unorganized than Disney is the Daily Wire. LOL.
Yeah, well,
probably.
Remains to be seen.
Yeah. J Doge 408. Last I heard, Ben Key was still a thing, but pretty much just used as that Bluey knockoff by a handful of parents. Mike MC Wong. They should make a Snow White slasher, much in the style of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. They probably are.
I'm sure that's coming. I'm going to the premiere of Popeye the Slayer Man tonight.
Patrick Lemire, they used that trailer to drive subs. Yes, they did.
They did.
I mean, that's how you drive subs. Andy Makes Star Wars became a YouTube member.
Thank you, Andy. We appreciate you. So there you go. All right. We've got one more story, which is Snow White related before we get to our review. Rachel Zegler, she's been making comments. And here she's I mean, I don't know. I've heard people refer to her version of the character as Snow Latte. I don't know. I don't really care about the Snow White or Rachel Zegler and whatnot and her ethnicity as it applies to Snow White. They got the hair right. You know, in certain angles, maybe there's too much hair on the back. But Alan, if you would bring up the story about this and read the this is from the Hollywood Reporter. Rachel Zegler talks diversity, Snow White lessons for future generations. Quote, I hope we'll see a new dawn of kindness and acceptance. What a huge, I mean, there's more to it. You'll read it. But this just shows how out of touch, and she's a complete lack of self-awareness that she has, because she on her own Instagram going after half the country, she picked a side. You know what? She picked a side and decided, I'm going to hate half these people. So for her to say this is the height of hypocrisy. Alan, if you would give us the crux of this article from Reporter.
I know. This sounds like she made the movie for us. Yeah, let me get to, okay, here we go. Rachel Zegler, the star of Disney's live-action Snow White, is using her platform to champion diversity and criticism over her casting. Facing backlash for playing a traditionally white as snow character as a Colombian actress, Zegler remains steadfast in her belief that talent should be nurtured regardless of.
Alan, you're fading out. Repeat that last sentence.
Okay. Let's see. Zegler remains steadfast in her belief that talent should be nurtured regardless of appearance. In her Allure interview, she expresses hope for a future where inclusion is the norm, not a controversy. She emphasizes that power comes in many forms and that kindness can be just as transformative as force. With Snow White releasing during a politically charged time, Zegler's message is clear. Diversity in storytelling matters, and the next generation deserves to see themselves represented on screen. Bravo!
Quick aside, Alan, you have to fix your internet because you're dropping out at key points.
No, I think it's my computer.
But I'll just say this, Rachel, you first. If you want to embody these values of acceptance, inclusion, you first. You be an example. You are in this movie that will be seen by probably a lot of children. And regardless of how it does at the box office, this will be on Disney Plus. It'll be, from now into eternity, able to be seen by lots of kids. You first. You need to embody these values if that's what you believe. But based on her behavior on her personal Instagram, both in the press and her personal social media, she clearly does not embody these values and is, for me, a disappointment. If my kids were by the way, I have a daughter. She is an adult woman. We go to the movies every week. Guess what movie she doesn't care about? This movie. I could not convince her. Should we go see Snow White? Oh, hell no. Doesn't want to see it. So I don't know. I just think it really makes it hard to believe in you when you act the way you act. Alan, final comments, go to comments from our audience, and then we'll get into our review. Go ahead, Alan.
Yeah, it's just complete lack of humility. Her stance is, I'm right, you're wrong. You people are horrible. And one day when you change, you can come and watch my movie and enjoy it. That's the sense I get from this.
I mean, when you're hired, last comment for me, and then we'll go.
We have a lot of stories to get through. And
yeah. When you are hired to be the lead in a film as iconic as this, a remake of a Disney classic, you are something of an ambassador of the brand, not just the character, the brand. Somehow no one told her this. And it became very popular amongst a lot of Hollywood celebrities to vilify and divide half the country, saying you're bad for however you decided to vote. You vote your personal interests, you vote your beliefs, but you vote how you vote. Hey, we move on, and we all hope for the best for this country and all American citizens. And I'd love to see that attitude reflected in celebrities in an age where we have seen the death of celebrities and the concept of celebrity is dying. I don't see after the way she has conducted herself, she will never be hired in another tentpole big Hollywood production made for hundreds of millions of dollars. Now, could she be in indie movies? Sure. Could she be maybe a bit part of a film? Maybe. Will she be on Broadway? Definitely. But I think after this whole debacle, she will never star in a Hollywood film, and she needs to learn the lesson. Alan, final comments. We'll go to user comment.
Well, no, I gave you my final comment.
All right.
Yeah, you wanted yours. So let's move on. We got a lot of stories here. So
let's go to your comments from the audience.
From Tofka Day. Yes, it's the world that needs to change, not Rachel Zegler. Krizik, I believe her when she officially apologizes to Gina Carano. Not aware she said anything.
Oh, yeah. Krizik, good one to bring up.
Oh, okay. She did say something.
Oh, yeah. No, she said horrible things about Gina.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
Yeah, I got better things to do in life. Khalid, I hope you never know peace. The kindness queen over here.
Thanks,
I remember
Khaled.
that comment.
Yeah, Khaled, thank you for that comment. Appreciate you.
And Sons and Shadows, do we need to start with Alan needs a new PC fund?
Yes, Sons and Shadows.
It is definitely my computer. It's not the internet.
I don't know, but I just look. It's just I want people to hear your voice. Yeah. I want to lift up Alan's voice, but when I can't hear it, it's difficult.
Yeah, representation matters. I'll try to do see how my laptop holds up next time.
We'll figure it out. All right, Alan, it's time. It's time to talk about Snow White. We will be non-spoiler today, although we'll get into probably light spoilers. If any of you care, you've been warned. There will be light spoilers in this. Alan, let's talk about Snow White. if you would go over the story somewhat, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't know Snow White, it's the story of a young girl who's born in stressful circumstances. Her parents were in a carriage in the middle of a snowstorm, and she was born and survived, and that's how she became Snow White.
Because there was snow.
There was snow. Okay.
Okay.
And about 5 minutes into the movie, her mother dies, and the king is there, and he succumbs to the beauty of this strange woman, who then marries him, and now she becomes the evil queen after sending her husband, Snow White's father, off to death. Now Snow White is
off to war that he may or may not have survived.
Okay. And so she is now locked up in the castle, seeing how economically oppressed all the villagers are. She shows compassion. She shows mercy. And by doing that, the magic mirror tells the evil queen that Snow White is the fairest of them all. And now the evil queen is on a vendetta to kill Snow White. But there are dwarves and bandits who are there to help her survive and win in the end. And there's music and dancing and creepy CGI and lots of cute animals.
It does follow the bullet points of the original fairy tale. It actually does, for the most part. It hits those beats, but adds a whole lot of extra to get to a 1 hour and 49 minute running time. So I'll say this: the new musical numbers are not great. No. I can't even look. I can in my mind I can pull up "Whistle While You Work." Simple. It's a great tune. Very simple. It's memorable. None of the new songs are memorable. Having said that, Rachel Zegler is great as a singer. He is very good. I mean, I have to give her credit. You cannot deny, Alan. He is very good singer.
She is a very good singer. I will agree with you.
And you like musicals, so you are a good judge.
I thought she was brilliant in West Side Story.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, she gets some credit there. But that can't save the rearrangements of the classic songs, which are just plain bad. They even changed the lyrics to "Whistle While You Work."
And Hi-Ho. They added lyrics to Hi-Ho.
And Hi-Ho. It's so so let's get the good, the bad, and the ugly for this. I mean, I already got the good out of the way, which is Rachel Zegler can sing, and she is not awful in the movie. But I'll say this, I have a theory as to why. This movie went through reshoots, and it was recut, and they did something. They did something with Rachel Zegler. What did they do? They reduced her screen time. How did they do that? They added a whole preamble with Snow White as a young girl and what she went through with her family. They included other storylines, including the bandits, the huntsman, the evil queen herself. So what you saw is the screen time of Rachel Zegler as Snow White was reduced in the movie, making her seem less annoying. I'll make a comment. Well, this will make sense. Star Wars Episode 1. Okay, whatever you think about that movie, I actually don't think Jar Jar Binks is that bad. Here's the problem with Jar Jar Binks in Star Wars Episode 1. He was comic relief. The problem is he gets annoying after a while, but no more or less annoying than C-3PO, a gay butler. And I think you could have saved Jar Jar Binks if you just cut his screen time in half or less. If he has less screen time, he's just not as present and not as annoying. But he took over that movie to the point where if you look at the structure of Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, he is the one that follows the hero's journey. The hero's journey is followed by Jar Jar. What he needed to do, George Lucas, is cut the screen time of Jar Jar down you would actually like him as a character. That's what they did very wisely to Rachel Zegler. They cut her screen time down. That helped. And I also think that that contributed to many of the reviews that say, hey, the movie is actually good. It's not great. It's good. It's not as bad as I thought it would be, because we've had 2 years of awful press. And now we get to the movie and it's like, that's not bad, which I can see. That is a fair. I had a friend text me. He said the same thing. It's okay. It's okay. It's not as bad as you thought it would be. So I don't know what you think about what I just said. I have some more comments as well. We'll get to the dwarves. Save the dwarves.
Okay, I'll save the dwarves. But when you say it's not as bad as it could have been, that's true. But it's still a bad movie. I mean, if you take away all the controversy, the story is awful. I joke a lot about the fact that this movie, what this movie had that the original didn't have, was exposition. There's just too much explaining going on. The other thing is the storytelling. There's not emotion. There's not heart in it. And I'll give you the biggest example. And this happens in the first 5 minutes. Snow White, as a little girl, she's with her father, the king, her mother, the queen. They're very happy. And then all of a sudden the narrator says, and then the mother dies. And then in the well reflection, she disappears. Now, the thing is that, look, you feel bad because I told you the mother died, as opposed to all the other Disney movies. You either see or you feel the emotional impact of a parent dying. Frozen is probably the greatest example of that. The parents go off in a ship, they die, and you get that sense, that feeling of, you know how they feel. But here it's literally a line and she goes away. The acting, to me, this movie is just too on the nose, in the sense of, the whole point of Snow White is she is destined to become the queen, the leader her father wants her to be. That waiting on a wish, it's all about her wishing to be the daughter her father wants her to be.
Right.
I mean, really, is that what kids are into? Is that what kids connect with and resonate with? Then she goes off everywhere she goes in this movie. She sees you and she hears you and gives you, and it happens so often that by halfway through the movie, every time she sees someone or hears someone, your eyes roll into the back of your head. And I think that's why you and Dante had headaches afterwards.
Yes, I literally got a headache watching this movie.
Yeah. Now let me talk about the music. The music is great. It's exceptional. The lyrics are awful. The lyrics say nothing. The biggest example is the opening number called Good Things Grow. This is the song that introduces you to the land, the country that Snow White and her family rules over. And what happens is the song is about how in this town and in this country, good things grow. Like when they grow vegetables for the gardens, it's good. And then when they bake things, it's good. Everyone has plenty of stuff. This is a far cry from Belle from Beauty and the Beast. That opening number, when you see it play out, when Belle goes into the town, you understand Belle's character. You understand the basic conflict between her and the townies. And then you bring in Gaston, and now you've got the big conflict going on there. That opening number says everything you need to know about this story. But this song, Good Things Grow, it's about farming and how good things grow. I mean, that's just a little too on the nose. There is a love song in the middle of it. Maybe Friday we'll talk about the love story and how horribly mismanaged it was. But, a love song, a Disney love song, the key to whether it becomes a classic or not is whether you would sing this song in your wedding or have this song sung in your wedding.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. This one, I mean, it's I don't know. There's just this feminist vibe that flows throughout this entire movie.
We can get into that. It's very girl bossy. It's
Princess Problems.
They,
the song Princess Problems. I mean, you can only imagine
Princess Problems.
Like.
Oh my god! So it's all these. It follows the beats of the story while adding, and it's not like you could argue. I could see people argue, "Hey, it's not overly woke," but there's a whole socialism thing throughout where
there's a third wave feminism.
There's feminism in there. They sort of dance up to the line, but never say the word equity. But they're implying that with the Good Things Grow song, how you share all the resources of the kingdom, right?
Yeah.
And her speech to the queen about the people are starving. We need to give them a pie, can make them like it is like, oh, it's so you're right. It's so on the nose.
Let me give you the worst example of the exposition in the dialogue. There is a whole segment about why Happy was named Happy, and why Dopey was named Dopey, and why Sneezy was named Sneezy. And they thought they were being cute. They weren't. And then finally, I'm surprised at the end of this movie, Gal Gadot wasn't fat and overweight, because she chewed up so much scenery throughout the entire movie. Yeah. I mean, I think people will say she did a good performance, but in my opinion, it was just really over the top. And when you combine it with dance numbers that she had to do, I'm like, this is incredible. I will say this, kids will love it. We talked about it last night. Single age kids will love the movie, and there's for one reason. There are cute animals from the opening frame to the ending frame. And the only times in our audience, the most of the time that the audience reacted audibly was when an animal showed up and looked cute. And that's the response. And kids, that's the Pavlovian response that kids will have. And you have enough of that going on to where they're going to like this movie. And I think I'm willing to bet that. I mean, I'm willing to bet that it'll make $400 to $500 million.
Well, we'll see. But I will say this: two last things, and we'll get to your comments. We will also go into more full spoilers on Friday. But the animals, they did everything they could to distract. It's like I said, they reduced Rachel Zegler's screen time, so it begins to feel like an ensemble by the end of the movie. And the way that the third act is resolved is laughable. We will talk about that on Friday.
Yeah. One thing you'll notice about the animals is every time, the wishing well, it's iconic. Every time the camera goes to the wishing well, 2 or 3 doves descend upon it and land. I mean, without fail each time.
Right. It's dumb. But okay. So, and the thing I noticed, we saw it with a full audience.
Mm-hmm.
You may not. If you go to the theater, you're not going to see it with a full audience. There were breaks where after a big song, you would expect people to applaud. Guess what? They did not. Like you pointed out, Alan, the only thing to get a big reaction were the animals. No one laughed. And there's an audible gasp when something shocking happens with one of the dwarves that I know pissed people off.
Mm-hmm.
I know it pissed people off. But let's talk about those dwarves and CG effects. The CG effects are so bad. In 1992, Jurassic Park came out and blew people's minds with dinosaurs that looked real. And somehow CG effects today have gotten worse. Bad. The dwarves are dead-eyed and are awful, like that bad Tom Hanks movie, Polar Express. I did not like that movie. I don't care whatever you think of it. I did not like that movie. The dwarves are so bad. And there's a thing with animators where they imbue their personality onto the characters they animate. I don't know who was doing the dwarves. They were very generic. And they looked like these big heads, like they were in some Mardi Gras parade. some
Oh, yeah, the big
character
head.
running around with like a big head that they couldn't really figure it out. There was no reason. I think you said this last night. There was no reason they could not have hired some little people and maybe put makeup on them, and made them maybe they had some CG enhancement. They could have brought the classic. I couldn't even tell them apart. Other than Doc, Grumpy, and Dopey, I didn't know who was who. They were not very distinct.
Yeah.
And
look, I will. If you watch the movie, pay special attention to what the dwarves do, and ask yourself the question: couldn't a human actor have done that?
Right. Yeah. Why did they not hire humans? And if it's Peter Dinklage, his comments led to that decision. I find that very sad. There is a little person in the movie, by the way, one of the primary bandit characters, one of the few I remember, and that character plays a part. But other than that, it's that's it. One last thing, and we'll go to your comments unless you have something else.
I have something.
Okay, good. Please, diversity.
Yeah, that's what I was going to add.
It's okay. I know it's so distracting when it's not organic. You can have like a great actor play a part that is, say, a Denzel Washington or someone, or like someone, an actor that like, oh, well, it's Denzel. But the diversity is so they couldn't show a frame of the townspeople without, well, here's a white person and here's a person of color. And I think there's one Asian in the whole movie.
There's one Asian in the whole movie.
But it's no one does diversity worse than Disney. They are so adamant that like it's not just about the group of characters, it's frames of every frame of the minor characters have to look like a box of crayons of different flesh colors. It's like so forced, it takes you out of the movie. It's like the live action Beauty and the Beast did that too.
Yeah. Look, I've always said that progressives and even liberals, they try so hard to not be racist that it comes off as racist.
Yeah.
I talked about this on Monday on Versus, but all my life, diversity has meant black. And that this movie represents that comment perfectly. There was one Asian, maybe you can spot the Latinx, but it was black. That was their diversity. The other thing is, look, this took place hundreds of years ago. And when you watch it, you realize, wow, white and black people got along pretty well. There was no racism at all in the world back in the, let's say, the 1200s or the 1300s. Everyone got along. What happened? What point since Snow White did all of a sudden black and white citizens turn on each other? And that's what we talk about being inauthentic, or not being authentic. It's forced, it's thrown in there, and it doesn't feel real.
Well, one last comment. Kudos to Disney on the diversity. They made the huntsman black. The guy that was sent by the evil queen to take Snow White into the forest, chop her heart out, and put it in a box to deliver to the queen was black. So make of that what you will. Alan, your final review out of 10, what do you give it?
Okay, I gave it a 3 out of 10 because I liked Hi Ho. I was just talking again with my daughter about it, but the Hi Ho sequence, if you've been on the Snow White roller coaster at the Magic Kingdom, the Hi Ho sequence is based on that ride, and we certainly enjoyed that ride, and it was fun seeing it again. But like Emilia Perez, this is just a bad movie. Take away all the controversy, take away the fact that it's Disney. What was thrown on the screen is just bad storytelling. It treats adults like morons, and it panders to children with cute animals.
Well, I also give it a 3 out of 10, mainly because Rachel Zegler, she could sing, and she wasn't as annoying as she could have been. So there you go.
It got a 3 for not being as annoying.
Yeah. Let's go to your comments.
All right.
And I gotta, I'll be right
Sure.
back. You know
Sure.
what I have to do.
Yeah, I know. You gotta tend to the kidney. Chelsea M, member for 10 months. Rachel Zegler has a great voice, but she is not leading lady material. I think the only way, if Rachel Zegler ever gets back, it'll be because she spent years on Broadway and built a new image and a new reputation. Let's see. Aaron Charman for 10 pounds. Disney built its reputation on brilliant movies, not just average or passable ones. With The Little Mermaid, Peter Pan and Wendy, Mufasa, and now Snow White, aren't they just destroying their brands? Yeah, we'll probably get into a lot of that on Friday. Just, my sense is these live actions are all about correcting Walt Disney. Here we go. Moving down. Star Wars Star Wars Lego Rob for $199. Disney destroyed everything. I love it. Let's see. Moving down to Fat Gore for $2. Full frontal crunchy beaver. Yeah. David Smart for $5. I'd rather watch Deadpool 3 than this crap. And Daredevil episode 4 was crap. And Punisher and Matt was recycled stuff. On a bright note, yeah, is awesome. Thank you. I feel bad. I think Daredevil is better when you watch it all at one time instead of watching it episode by episode. Patrick Lemire, Ziggy can sing, sucks as a human. Ziegler, yes.
I would agree with you about Daredevil.
Yeah.
Quick aside, it was because you could power past the bad episodes to get to the things you care about, and it does lead to a climax that I think really makes you want to see what happens next.
Yeah.
So
and then when they deal with Muse, I think the Muse storyline is the best thing about it.
Yeah, it is. That was great.
Okay, Silver Smurfer, spoil it like a dollar store cold cut.
We will do that on Friday, just because then we can ignore the things we talked about here and then get right into the things. Specifically, we'll talk the ending and the moment people in the audience gasped. And because they were pissed.
Oh my gosh, my daughter. I was like,
yeah, she was pissed.
Like, quiet down, don't. Oh my gosh, the thing she was screaming out loud at that moment.
She was mad.
She was pissed off. AD Ellis 24. When was the last time Disney made a song that crossed over into pop culture? Let It Go. Well,
no, Let It Go for sure, and that was the last time.
No, it was Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno.
Bruno,
from Encanto. We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah, I'm not singing that.
People sing it.
All right, well, that's good to hear.
And Let It Go. Let's be real. It was in Wicked too. Abigail, the movie that starts with a storybook, has less exposition. Let me talk about that storybook. It starts with the traditional storybook, but what they do is they put a cute animal on top of the storybook.
They literally like, you like cute things? Here's a cute thing on top of the storybook.
Forget the storybook. Yeah, there's a cute little hedgehog. That's how they start the movie. That's the first thing you see in the movie. All right. Jimmy Francis, Up handled death really well, I thought. We're going to talk about death on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
That's because it plays an important part. ADLS 24, Disney films lacking heart is emblematic of an entire current corporate ethos of the Mouse House. That was something that they once mastered, but they took the public for granted and lost their way. I feel like they want to play safe, and now safe has become bland, especially when it comes to death, when it comes to grief, when it comes to sad emotions. They play it safe, and it becomes inauthentic at that point. Bill S. Preston Esquire, farming. Did Zack Snyder write this? Was there slow-mo?
I don't think there was slow-mo.
Yeah, but yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, but they leaned into it in similar ways.
Yeah.
In fact, there's a whole storyline about the farmers. Okay, moving on.
Moving on here.
Here we go. Patrick Lemire, there's nothing in theaters to compete for its market, which will help. Yeah, it will do well It will definitely be number one this weekend. Austin Smith for 199. Disney should have named this movie White Trash.
Yep.
And Chelsea M, I didn't know that medieval time Germany was so diverse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's why does it not work, Alan? I mean, it obviously doesn't work. It's like distracting. It's because I think it's the way they film it. Because like when they cut to like there's an opening number that's like all the people in the village, right? This big village square. But when they cut, so it's big, you see the spectacle. Look at this crowd in this village square. And they cut to insert shots, these close-ups. But whenever they do, it's like black person, white person, 2 black people, young black girl, 2 white people. Like it's like it has to be like.
Well, that's just it. Because it's inauthentic, it feels out of place. And then when you see it, like you say, in every frame, posed that way, it now feels forced. Like they're pushing this diversity agenda upon us. And the fact that there was only one Asian, let's think about it. I can understand how you can have a good number of black people in your village, but one Asian, how did that person get there? How does that person, interact with everyone else? What about his culture? What about his Asian heritage? What of that? That's where this idea of diversity becomes slowly racist, because we're now denying the culture of that person and forcing a German European culture behind him or background behind him. But that's a whole other conversation.
All right, we're gonna switch gears here. And I have a film that I would like to review. I am a fan of Hans Zimmer. Hang on a sec. Hang on. I know what I'm doing here. We're figuring this out. Let's start over.
Yep.
Cool. All right. I am a fan of Hans Zimmer, the composer. He is it's probably my favorite modern composer. And also one of the greatest living composers. I would say John Williams is on that list, but Hans Zimmer coming up, quick from behind here. He has done the scores for everything from The Lion King. He did the score to so many other, The Dark Knight, Interstellar, Inception, Dune Part 1 and Part 2. And I am a fan. I have bought his soundtracks and I have gone to see him in concert. He does a concert where he brings together a large group of musicians and he uses things that are like classic old instruments that aren't normally used in orchestras. He finds like musicians like Tina Guo, look her up, Tina Guo. She plays kind of this rock and roll cello. She famously is the one that did the Wonder Woman score. When it gets to the Wonder Woman's theme, Hans Zimmer wrote that. Yeah, that's her. And he does a tour with he plays highlights from all these films. It's incredible. He tells stories in between every set and song. He features different musicians. When I saw him last year, you and I saw the latest tour, and he played music from Dune Part 2. It was epic. He had people all over the crypto arena, like singing from different parts of it's a whole experience being in that room. It's epic. Well, what he did is had a documentary made called Hans Zimmer and Friends, Diamond in the Desert. It's a film that was made at his tour in Dubai. So in Dubai, they shot it. It is, the hair standing up on the back of my neck, getting chills during some of these songs. I would say Interstellar, seeing that arrangement like performed live. I saw it live. I saw it in the film. Amazing. It's playing in theaters limited release, one day, actually today, Wednesday, March 19th. It's in theaters. It may extend the run, but look for it. I wanted to review this, if only to let people know that it's around. But if you're not aware of who Hans Zimmer is, come on, folks. And also, I have gone to Hans Zimmer's website, and he will release not just the soundtrack, but he does these things like when he performed Man of Steel is a great score. And he also did Wonder Woman. Man of Steel, how do you top John Williams' score for Superman, which is objectively a great score? It's being reused by James Gunn in the new Superman. I love the score for Man of Steel, but for Superman. But the fact that he even made a better, I wouldn't say better, but at least one that can compete with it, like, whoa, this is great in other ways, right? Both can coexist. And I love the score for Man of Steel. In between each of the, they'll show a live performance. Some of them are staged in Dubai. But they show interviews with Hans Zimmer. He talks to Timothy Chalamet. He talks to other people throughout the film about, what inspired the music. He really is so passionate. And from his website, I have purchased his soundtracks where he'll do like a thing where he just is effing around. Do like 20 or 30 minutes of kind of figuring it out. He actually makes those available for people to listen to, where he's like figuring out, I think there's a theme in this, but I'm going to mess around. Awesome stuff. If you have never seen him in concert, and this is the closest thing you'll get to a performance, go see it. I like concert movies, and a concert movie of someone like Hans Zimmer, amazing. And I'll tell you, when I regret getting rid of most of my CDs. When I took my CD collection and made MP3s out of them for a digital collection of my music, more than half of all my music were movie soundtracks. And I do regret getting rid of most of my CDs, but Hans Zimmer, every score is a banger, and really admire his work and his spirit. He loves what he does. So, Alan, you can see it tonight in a theater.
Yeah, I could. Let me say this. So that concert was amazing. Look, to me, John Williams is the GOAT. I don't think
he is the GOAT.
I don't think anyone comes close to John Williams, but I will say this. The greatest movie soundtrack to me is The Lion King. Hans Zimmer's score of The Lion King. In fact, I'm pretty sure your concert and my concert ended with The Lion King.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, I mean, it is a powerful score, and it fits so well with this cartoon.
Wait, can I tell you why it's so great?
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer's father passed away when he was 6 years old. When he was tasked with writing the music for The Lion King, he made the score for Lion King a requiem for his father. It was a tribute to his father because of, obviously, the story of The Lion King.
Simba and
Mufasa. It's about a father and a son. He made it about his dad, who he lost when he was a child. That's why it's filled with so much emotion. And that's why this documentary concert movie is so fantastic. If I wasn't going to see another movie tonight, I'd go to see this.
Popeye the Slayer, man. Yes.
Yes. Well, you got to do what you got to do. But it's really great. So
and I you bring it up. He experiments with music, with instruments.
Yes.
It was weird in the concert because he is literally he's probably twice as old as the youngest person on stage.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing. And the way he talks, the way he relates to the audience, the love he has for the audience, that he's there for you, just really comes across. And so if you can't go to a concert, see this.
And by the way, there is a 30-minute Q&A with Hans Zimmer for members only, because I went to a special screening and he was there, did a 30-minute Q&A that I filmed it. It's for members only. It's on the channel. And one thing I learned in the Q&A, he has not started on Dune Messiah yet. Like nothing. He apparently has something of a script, but has not begun the score. And I can't wait for that, because we're going to get Dune Messiah maybe sooner than we think.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I would like to think that having done the first two, he's a third of the way there already.
Right. Yeah. So let's go to your comments here.
Okay. From Yes Shrivastava. Is Hans Zimmer as prolific as Mozart? Real question.
A modern Mozart, yeah. I don't know about his personal life, but I love the movie Amadeus.
Who's his Salieri?
No, but he's I just, he's so authentic. His motions are right underneath the surface, right there, and he's very honest.
Yeah. I would say John Williams is great at melody. Hans Zimmer is great at emotion. Chrisick, member for 12 months. Chris, do you have the official limited run release of the Ferris Bueller's Day Off soundtrack?
I do not, but I have a lot of rare soundtracks.
All right. Andy makes Star Wars. Lion King is brilliant. Elton John is the best. Yeah. Elton John and Tim Rice, and then you have Hans Zimmer for the score.
Yeah, I know. That's just, I mean, that movie is underestimated. How great the Lion
Underrated.
Underrated. I'm talking about the animated,
yes,
original 2D, and everything they've done since has been garbage. The sequels, the live action Uncanny Valley remakes, awful.
All right, fun with collecting. I didn't even read that one. Okay, Jedi. Sorry, fun. Interstellar score is pretty good too. It gives me movie eyes, LOL. And Sons and Shadows. Can Zimmer shred? He can play the piano.
Unbelievably, yeah.
And he's got the guitar there.
Yeah, he can't play every instrument, but I like that he brings out these, like, this is an ancient instrument they used to play in the 13th century, and he'll bring out, like, does a sound like this. He experiments with different sounds. That's why Dune is so good. It's so otherworldly. It doesn't sound like a traditional movie score, like Lawrence of Arabia or something. You know, it's like it's very different.
And his band, isn't his band like 150 people?
Yeah, it's a lot of people. I don't know how they afford to put it on. I mean, it's a great concert. So there you go. All right, we're gonna pivot here, and we have a special guest showing up, but we have time for a quick news story, and let's do this. It's official. The DVD business died in 2024. Now, if you're like me, you collect DVDs. Love my 4Ks. I have a PS5 just so I can play 4Ks. But and I will not stop buying DVDs. I will buy used DVDs if something is not legally available. I know a few sources. Criterion just yesterday had a 50% off sale. So while Alan is bringing the story up, I'll just keep talking. If you go to the Film Threat YouTube channel, I even brought back my DV Tuesday segment from Attack of the Show. Just look up DV Tuesday on the Film Threat channel. But is this a Variety? What is this?
This is, hold on, I gotta go back. Yeah, Variety.
From Variety, it's official. The DVD business died in 2024. It's hard to ignore, but unfortunately, sales of DVDs have cratered. They've continued to crater. It's become a specialty platform, not for this audience, but for most people. But Alan, can you give me the synopsis of this story?
I can give you the highlights here, but the DVD industry is officially on life support. Once a giant of home entertainment, it is now shrunk to a fraction of its former self. Here are the key points. DVD sales have crashed. In 2024, U.S. physical media sales dropped 23% from 2023, falling below 1 billion for the first time. That's a 94% drop from the industry's peak in 2006. Streaming dominates. Home entertainment spending hit 57 billion, with streaming SVOD making up 91.3% of total. DVD sales just 1.6% of the market. Physical rentals are gone. Redbox shut down. Netflix ended its disc rental service, and rental tracking has been discontinued.
Rental tracking has
retailers
been
are
what,
moving on.
Alan?
Major stores
You dropped out. Rental tracking
discontinued. Okay, sorry.
No,
rental
no.
tracking
You
has
dropped
been
out. I couldn't hear what you said. Can you rental tracking what?
Has been discontinued.
Okay.
Retailers are moving on. Major stores like Best Buy, Walmart, and Target are phasing out DVD and Blu-ray sales, signaling a likely full disappearance from shelves soon. Streaming growth isn't guaranteed. The industry now relies almost entirely on SVOD, but price hikes and cheaper alternatives like FAST and AVOD could slow the momentum. Niche markets emerge. While DVDs as a mainstream format are done, there are collector markets growing for 4K UHD discs and steelbook editions, much like vinyl records. In short, DVDs are no longer a major business. Streaming is king for now, and physical media may survive only as a niche collector market.
You have no idea how sad this makes me. By the way, I still buy DVDs, not every week, but I look for stuff. I got The Substance in 4K. Very excited about that. I resisted, just because I'm on a budget, I resisted the Criterion sale yesterday, which I'm proud of myself. But and in light of the fact that these trigger warnings on the beginning of VOD, I despise those. So I prefer physical media and even used DVDs. Alan, what are your thoughts? I'm not going to stop buying DVDs, but and if I have to buy used, I buy used.
Yeah.
And I go through other sources. What do you think?
Well, the last disc I bought was Wicked. For my wife.
You bought Wicked?
I bought Wicked because it comes in all the formats: 4K, DVD, Blu-ray, and it has a sing-along edition. And happy wife, happy life. It's sad. Look, let's be real. For you and me, at our age, DVDs were a big part of our lives. I couldn't. There was a point where I couldn't fit all my DVDs on the shelf, and I had to transfer everything to notebooks. And it's sad that I think the biggest problem I have is the fact that, as you say, you can play around with VOD. You can cut scenes. You can put trigger warnings on it.
Yep.
By
the way, and with VOD, you can update the movie.
Yep.
They update. I've seen them do this. They not only update the movie, they'll update the thumbnail of the poster for the movie.
Yeah.
Like I have a big VOD collection. I would buy, digital movies in a pinch. And I always, when I buy a DVD, I make sure I like that it says you get a digital copy also. That's good marketing. But I do not like they can take it away at any time.
Yeah.
VOD, my first thing is look for DVD first. If it comes with the digital version, I'll take it. Yeah. But I'm not married to that.
Here, this is how I put it. Because my Fandango at home or my Movies Anywhere collection,
that's what I have.
It's fairly large, but the reality is when the zombie apocalypse comes, it's gone. Yeah. It's going to shut down and you're not going to have access to it anymore. In fact, zombie apocalypse aside, if Movies Anywhere, Fandango at Home, if all these services fail at some point in the future, all the money you've invested in VOD or in films online are gone, and you have nothing except the DVDs if you still have those. And that's the scariest part of it all, because you're spending money to buy the digital version, and for whatever reason they can take it away from you.
Well, I'll never not buy DVDs.
I think
care.
Remember PlayStation Network? They made movies and TV shows. They're gone. You have no access to those anymore. And
they cut those off. If you bought movies on the PlayStation Network, you don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Awful. Okay. Let's go to your comments.
Geek Truth 64, member for 23 months. Finally speaking my language, physical media.
By the way, subscribe to Geek Truth 64's channel for great coverage. We don't cover DVD enough. Geek Truth 64 is on top of it. I watch your channel.
Yeah, we don't cover it because we're covering the bad movies that are in theaters now.
Yeah, we are. Thank you.
Krizik, really dumb how the executives lopped their own leg off in terms of DVD and Blu-ray sales. Well, it's also customer behavior. We're just not into it anymore. Thomas Pickup for 5. Would anyone pay for access to my Plex server? I own 1,500 movies. I actually bought them and 300 television series. Yeah,
wow.
I have. Yeah, that's how I watch my movies on my Plex server.
Nice.
Suns and Shadows. These companies felt streaming was the way, pushing physical media out. They are not allowing for revenue streams to bolster anymore. This was a bad move by Hollywood, but like vinyl, it'll be back.
Yep.
Andy makes Star Wars. I managed a charity shop in 2023. I had to sell DVDs for on offer for $5 for a pound. I had so many donated.
Oh my God. That's awful. Thanks, Andy. That's crazy. Yeah, but yeah, kind of sad. Our interview subject is not here. I have maybe one more news story we can do, and we'll wrap up unless we're stalling until maybe he gets here. But let's talk about this. The California Film Tax Credit taps record 51 titles. Is this good for California? Let me just say this. I'm on LinkedIn. Please don't look me up. I get so many people looking for work from me, like I'm hiring. And I'll say that all my friends who worked in TV, who worked in film, they are all scrambling to find work. So anything that could help people. I mean, I'll say this. I think at this point, maybe moving to a smaller market might be the answer. So, Alan, if you pull up the story.
Yeah, you can move to Hungary, like from our guest last
exactly.
Time. Yes, here it is. I gotta press this one button there. All right. Yeah, California film and TV tax credit programs taps record 51 titles as state aims to boost production.
Give me the synopsis.
Yes, here we go. California is making a strong push to keep film productions within the state by allocating tax credits to major studios and independent productions. The upcoming projects from Everything Everywhere All at Once directors Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert is one of the biggest recipients, with NBC Universal receiving $20.8 million in incentives. 20th Century Studios Businesswoman and Warner Brothers Cutoff were also selected, receiving $5.7 million and $10 million respectively. However, the bulk of this round, covering 46 independent films, highlight how big budget productions continue to move to states like Georgia and countries like the UK were more attractive than tax incentives. Many of these independent films will shoot outside of Los Angeles, California. Film Commission Director Colleen Bell noted that recent wildfires have disrupted production and impacted thousands of industry workers, making this incentive even more crucial. The great Governor Gavin Newsom is working to expand the state's film and TV tax incentive cap from 330 million to 750 million annually to counteract the ongoing flight of productions and revitalize the industry after the impact of the strikes. The biggest note here is that the vast majority of the tax incentives are going to independent film productions and not the big studios.
It's sad. It's tragic. It's only going to get worse. Seriously, only going to get worse. Let's go to comments here.
Well, I think the biggest comment is too little, too late.
Yeah, it's like you should have done this before the strike.
Yeah. All right, Christopher Moonlight Productions.
Oh, sorry, Alan. Go ahead.
Okay, Christopher Moonlight Productions. A California tax credit for movies is like robbing Peter to pay Paul. Yeah, I have a whole issue with that too.
Yeah, it's
because it's taxpayer money going to make movies, and we don't get a cut of it. That's my personal feeling about tax credits.
Yeah, I all I know is my friends in the industry, they're all hurting. I don't know one person that's doing well. So there you go. All right, Alan, I have a treat. I guess there was a mix-up with the director. I don't know. He hasn't shown up. But let's do this. I know you love horror, Alan. And it's time that you react to this movie, The Fetus. I saw The Fetus, gave it a great review, and it's like a classic 80s horror in the vein of Frank Henenlotter. And I really enjoyed the film. It is out in limited release. We are going to react to the trailer only because I want to see your face.
Okay.
And it stars Bill Moseley and Lauren Lavera from the Terrifier films. So let's watch it only because I want to see how you react. Are you ready?
No, I'm not ready, but go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
You're pregnant. That can't be right. He always wears a condom.
Oh, shit.
Have you been lying to me?
Whoa, wait a second.
Do you remember when I told you that my body doesn't work the same as everyone else's? By the way, I should tell you a few things about my dad. He's a bit particular.
I was more of a cat person.
Are you gay?
Well, I don't think your dad and I see eye to eye.
He doesn't really like anyone.
Oh, hey!
Oh, no.
It's time.
Dad! No, Dad!
If we don't feed it, it will start sucking on her blood to survive.
You can't get rid of this thing.
Of course not! I've been freaking out since this morning.
I really thought you would grow up normal. You ain't family. You are the turd in the way.
Your mom really died giving birth to you.
So check it out in limited release. I really love the film.
By the way, this is the same plot as Little Shop of Horrors.
Is it really?
Yeah, you got to feed the beast, and so you got to make tough decisions. But it comes out of the cooch.
Well, guess what? We have the director of the film showing up late, but that's okay. We forgive him. Joe's waiting in the wings. Let's talk to the director of The Fetus. Hey, Joe. Thanks for joining us. Hey, glad you can make it.
Oh, thank you. I thought it was at 2:45.
It's all good, man. You're here.
I'm here.
You're here early.
And
then.
you've got the T-shirt. Wait, show the T-shirt there. I love the poster. That's awesome. Where did this film concept come from?
Little Shop of Horrors, right?
Yeah. Well, first off, I want to say I am huge fans of Film Threat. You guys are I watch you guys every single day. You have no idea. I am hooked. You guys are like heroin for me. It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things. I love you guys' movie reviews and your banter and all the stuff that you guys do. I love it. So Thank you for having me on. But to answer your question, where did this come from? I was looking at like what is going on in society, what is kind of like tearing our nation apart, and there's this whole pro-life, pro-choice debate. But I wanted to do something in a way that it wouldn't offend either side, but it would spark debate. So hopefully, like maybe the two sides can come together and start discussing and healing over this. And at the same time, I wanted to see something that I had never seen before, which is a lot of times you got the villain or the entity or demon, monster, whatever it is, and then you have the humans. And one's attacking the other, and one has to fight off the other. I'm like, what if that was inside of you? How would you deal with that? And if there's a chance that this thing is coming out and killing people, that there is a chance that if you, with the right parentage, it could actually grow up to be good. And that's the moral dilemma, the moral implications that I wanted to put into. I wanted to bring morals back to the movies because I've been missing that, to be honest.
What I love about the film, I've seen it, Alan has not. It doesn't lecture. There's no political point being made. It's not pro or anti any side of this issue. It's just a part of the story. A young woman gets pregnant and fears because of her mother that something may be wrong with the fetus. It's very much reminds me, and I talked to you about this, the movie Basket Case, which is one of my favorite movies by Frank Henenlotter. It's very, and the movie is not comedic. There's no jokes, but there are parts that kind of land funny just because of the circumstances. Was that humor intended, or because I saw it with an audience? I saw it in a theater.
Yeah, the humor, what is weird is that after 45 drafts, like the humor came out and I didn't realize, I thought I was like, I'm making a serious horror movie here. And then I had one of my producers read it and he's like, Joe, this is funny. He's like, are you kidding me? Don't you get your own humor? And then I had to look at it and examine it, and literally for releasing it, I kept telling him, let's call it a body horror, like or creature horror. Why do you want to call it a horror comedy? But then we started doing these like horror fan screenings, and literally people are like just like hollering and laughing and all that, and like they're having a great time. And I was like, oh wow, yeah, there's some funny stuff in here. And so yeah, I mean, I was kind of like resisting it for a while, but then it just, we had to let it be what it is.
How did you pull the cast together? I'm a huge fan of Lauren from the Terrifier movies, but Bill Moseley, like what was how'd you pull that cast together?
Oh, Bill was my top 3 choice. He's the first person I cast because I was thinking, oh, we need to cast somebody who has a large following, a history. He's got 40 years in the business, over 130 films, mostly horror, and great performer, great actor. And so within 3 hours of us sending the offer and the script to his management, he said yes. And then from there, it was, the second person was Lauren, because Alessa, that character, has a lot to carry with this pregnancy throughout the movie of this rapidly growing fetus. And as a result, we, found her out of 7,500 actresses. And, she just knocked it out of the park. She was literally the character in the self-tape edition. There was no ramping up to it. There was no, trying to figure out who this character was. She was it. It was so emotionally charged that I tell people I could take that self-tape edition, cut it into the movie, and like nobody would realize because they would be caught up in the emotion.
Yeah, she sells it so well. It's deadly serious what's happening in the film. All the actors work so well together. Before we have over 3,000 people watching live, they have a lot of comments and questions for you. We'll get to them. But how did you avoid being political? The movie, you would think, and I remember when I saw it, I thought it was like, I want to see this, because horror really deals with serious issues. It's a way to work things out. Yet the movie really handles things so perfectly. I think whatever side of that issue you're on, you could see this movie and enjoy it. How did you walk that fine line?
Honestly, I mean, it may give a little bit away, but I had to show both sides of it. And at the same time, because when you're doing that, you can have people on either side identify with the different characters. But at the same time, this is not a normal human fetus. This is a half human, half demonic fetus with a thirst for blood. And because of that, it takes away the onus of the reality of this being a human fetus.
Go to comments, but is it in theaters now? And when does it come to VOD and DVD?
This is literally the last day. We had a 2-week theatrical run. It's just very select theaters out in the Midwest. And, we're very, very fortunate. Not a lot of indie films get theatrical releases. Our producer, Brent Trotter, really made that happen and pushed hard for it. We were turned down by some of the major theater chains. And I think partially it's because of subject matter, because it is controversial. We've had emergency meetings from companies that shut us down. We've been told we have to change the name, or else Walmart or retailers would not accept the DVD releases of it. I've been banned from Etsy just for having early merch. Like 2 years ago, I put up just like coffee mugs and posters, and they literally banned us, and I could not appeal. I kept trying to appeal for 6 months. They would not even let me appeal. And so this is a very sensitive subject, and it's difficult to get out there. And some of our cast and crew, don't really support the film. And I can tell, not having conversations, but just the way it's been going on for social media and things like that. But that's just the way it is, so.
I think this will go down as a classic. I hope you make a sequel. I really hope you make a sequel. We've got a lot of
the infant.
Yeah. This is my colleague Alan. You know Alan. Alan was gonna read the comments here, but I'm telling you, man, this is so fun with an audience. It's so fun because people get creeped out and laugh at all the same. It was a blast. So
and actually, you mentioned right now, if anyone wants to see it, because it is our last day in theaters, anyone can go to thefetusfilm.com, and we've got a whole bunch of bonus gifts there as well. If you go there, you can get tickets to rent or buy, and there's bonus gifts. You would literally get a Lauren Lavera postcard that I will personally mail to you. I may or may not sign it. That'll be a surprise. And then, there's all these digital gifts that I've created, which is like making a book, a documentary, a visual compendium, which is a photo book. And we have this grand prize giveaway where you get a trip to the actual location where we filmed The Fetus in Pennsylvania. And you get a credit card spending spree for like $2,000 and a whole bunch of one-of-a-kind props. We have, I can't say which character this is for contractual legal purposes.
Oh no, yes.
This arm.
That's great.
Arm. You will get the fetus creature. You'll get the mechatronic version, which actually animates the mouth using a stick. So this is and all this stuff.
No more spoilers.
I'm doing all this stuff because I love fans so much. I made this movie not for me. I already saw the movie in my head, in my heart, and I wanted to give it to an audience. I wanted them to experience. That's why I spent 4 years and with the cast and crew of over 100 to make this happen. And I'm seeing the reviews come in. And I thank you guys again for just giving me this platform to share, because I love movies so much. And I want to contribute and advance the horror genre, especially with a film like this. It's getting great reviews.
I think you have a franchise on your hands. I think you make Fetus Part 2, Fetus Part 3. You can have there's more you can do with this concept, and it's thefetusfilm.com. I've got it on screen right now. You can win a $25,000 grand prize giveaway to go to the cabin where the movie was shot. So let's go to comments here. We have a lot of comments. Alan, if you would.
All right. From Lord Comment for 2. I love horror movies. 2. I'll just watch Snow White. Tax X Cut. Rosemary Baby meets Alien.
Oh, yes. Awesome.
Fun with collecting for $1.99. What's your problem with cat people? Protest time.
I'm a cat person. I got no problem with them.
All right, from Khalid. Hey Joe, is fetus also a play on words with feed us?
You got it exactly.
Sons and Shadows. hell yeah. Welcome, Joe. What you gonna do physical media wise for the Fetus? Looks awesome.
Like I said, I got a couple of books. We're gonna have DVDs. We're gonna have a bunch of bonus features, special features. One of my first jobs in entertainment was for a behind the scenes special features DVD production company. So I'm going all in with that.
Awesome. Caveat ties. How did you gather your crew?
As many people as I knew to work with, I tried to bring on board. And then we try to get people locally. A lot of them came from New York because we couldn't fly everybody out.
All right. The Introspect M. This concept reminds me of an X-Files episode I recently saw where Satan was having babies with many women trying to get one that didn't have horns.
I have not seen that episode. So.
Yeah, for Krizik. So, Joe, is this meant to lean into some of the themes that have occurred in other films like Rosemary's Baby?
It can, but Rosemary's Baby is, honestly, that's a very depressing movie to me. I created more of a roller coaster ride here than that, with a lot of emotions built into it. So you're not just like it's like a downbeat, feel bad kind of a Rosemary's Baby movie. So.
All right, awesome. And let's see, A.D. Ellis, was the screenplay always titled The Fetus, or was that a creative decision made in post?
Over the course of 1 year and 45 drafts, it became The Fetus. It was untitled before then, until I got the pregnancy thing going.
ADL's 24. What made filming in Pennsylvania the right location to shoot in, and how are crews in that state? Did any of them work on past horror films like Shyamalan?
There's not a lot of crew in Pennsylvania. It's very rural areas. And so, again, we had to get crew from New Jersey, New York. Only a couple people came from Pennsylvania.
All right. And Fun with Collecting for 199. Cat Bros. Now let's talk about a 4K steelbook design.
That would be awesome. We have to get that company on board.
And then finally from A.D. Ellis, what was it about Lauren Lavera that made her perfect for such an intense role? She is looking to have her a breakthrough year, and this looks like a great start.
It was her dedication, her commitment to going all in with her emotions, being so raw and not caring about how she looked. She just threw herself into it, and she understood the character and what was required of that character.
Go to thefetusfilm.com. Joe, thank you for coming on. I love the movie. I'm telling you, it's one of the best horror films I've seen this year. I think it's the best horror film I've seen this year. I'm telling you, it's bold, it's original, you took risks, and the way that you walk that fine line where you weren't lecturing about I feel like you really knocked it out of the park. And Lauren, she's so lovely. She really goes for it, especially if you've seen the Terrifier films in combo with this. She is the modern scream queen. That she's amazing. So I hope you're thinking about a sequel.
I have something in mind, but it depends.
All right. All right. So go to thefetusfilm.com. Joe, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure. I'm going to be very interested in what you do next. Please let us know your upcoming movies, and congrats again on The Fetus.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate
All right.
it.
Take care. Thanks, Joe.
All right. Bye.
And that's going to wrap it up for us. Truly, am I frozen on there?
Yes, you are.
I'm frozen
You
on
get a better
screen.
internet connection.
I need a better internet. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, great.
You're almost doing the Elon.
Well, with oh my God, no, I'm not. No, I'm not doing it. Well, that'll wrap it up for us today with me frozen. But I want to say thanks to everyone. Thanks to our mod, Lord Thoth, MK Solid. Thanks to Atomic Lori and Glenn Nuccio. Appreciate everyone who sent in a super chat and commented. You participate in the show. You make the show. We'll be back Friday with
your
detailed
reaction to Snow White.
Your reaction, because some of you will have gone to Snow White. So if you do go see it, please chime in with comments. And we're reviewing probably like 6 other movies that are opening in theaters. And we have 2 interviews on Friday, a very busy show. So join us then. And Alan is going to see the Hans Zimmer movie tonight. Why don't you match me, Alan?
I am. I'm doing that right now.
Well, there you go. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you Friday. Alan?
Let's get out of here.